two-time Royal Bank Cup champions and BCHL champions. Can you share, I guess, some of the success stories, why you guys were so special and different to win? Because the kids, I'm sure these days have heard, but also should realize that how important being a strong team and a winning club is to their next steps as well.
Go ahead.
Yeah. No, for sure. I think the head coach and general manager, Mark Ferner and Duncan Ray, they did a great job of bringing in guys that they thought, just like you said, that not only were going to be good players on the ice, but we're going to fit in well with like developing a culture within the Vipers dressing room and stuff. And I think there was like, I don't know, I'd say even the year after we left, the team after us made it to the finals and lost in the finals of the RBC. So they could have won it 3 years in a row. And like, just to obviously winning helps in attracting good players and stuff too, but they were great at picking guys that were going to be there for the right reasons and stuff and wanted to be successful. And I mean, we had some players that I think were fit in so well that it helped them out at the next level. Like the other teams saw them because they're kind of their, I don't know, their demeanor and they're like what they considered important and stuff. And like they fit in so well on other levels and next levels and getting scholarships. Like the one team we had, I think had like, I don't know, 18 scholarships maybe. Like, and if you go through it, it was just, we had a team. Like it was a core group of guys and then the rest of the guys, it was like nothing. In junior hockey, I don't think you see it as often. You almost see it more in like, in the pros, you know what I mean? And that was pretty cool to play like that. Like, and our coach treated us like men, you know what I mean? And he trusted us, and it was a pretty cool thing to not only win one championship, but to win two back to back. So,
Of course,
Con, you can probably say some more too.
Yeah, it comes from the leadership up top, especially. I know I've heard many great things about your owner, Duncan, and then also your coach. Was it
Mark Ferner and Jason Williamson were our two coaches, and they just did the whole organization did like a great job of just making everyone feel welcome, and it was such like a family atmosphere. Was it compared to like being with your billets and stuff like that? Like it was just like such a close knit, like core group of guys that like in both years it was like, hey, if you're not going to buy into what we're doing here, then you're not going to be on this team. You're not going to be part of this team, you know, like we were there to be, you know, like billets and stuff. Like we just had great billets and everything that just made it, I think the whole team and all the players feel comfortable. And there was a lot of trust from Mark and Jason, like with our guys. Like we didn't have curfews. We didn't do anything. It was just say, hey, like this is what we expect. And like, you know, like it's like a job. Like they were treating us like professionals. Like it was your job to go out there. And like I said earlier, like every day we went out there and got better, the whole team. And it was a part of, again, like me and Kellen bringing that competitive atmosphere. Like our second line was Braden Pym, Mike Collins, and Crowell. And like we would be competing in practice because he's like, hey, we want to be on the first line. Like it was amazing that came to playing the games where like it wasn't easy, but it was the competitiveness we had in practice was a big part of like why we were successful in our games and throughout both of those seasons. Hey, Cal?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of hit it on the nail on the head there. Like it's probably important for some of the kids to know too, but like practice was, I mean, guys loved coming to the rink and then guys loved competing on the ice. And then guys after we'd play ping pong for an hour until, you know, we had to go be back at our billets for dinner and stuff. And our billets knew that if we were late, like we were probably playing ping pong a little late, you know what I mean? So it was a cool dynamic for sure. And I mean, something that doesn't get to happen, not a lot of people get to experience, but I think it's important to know that you can bring that to your team and kind of, it definitely rubs off on guys of how you are as a person. And you might not think it does, but if you're working your butt off in practice, like you for sure know that someone else is going to notice that. And if they don't notice it, then that's their problem, but the coach is going to notice it too. Like there's a lot of players that get that kind of thinking, man, this guy's working his butt off. I'm going to give him a chance on this line. You know what I mean? Instead of I'm going to put him on the power play today. And like, it only is you need one kind of opportunity, and then you get the confidence and to keep rolling kind of thing. And
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, just to go off of what you were saying, it's almost like, everyone's going at the same pace, same speed, but it's those guys that can raise it to the next gear. And it's not just a matter, it's a matter of their inner motivation and wanting to take that next step forward of going, it's not easy to do that, or else if it was easy, everyone would be able to do it. And that's why you see a lot of guys go D3 as well, or some are done after junior hockey, right? So I think players need to think
a lot
about
of good players
that.
that
And a lot of it comes from like preparation and just caring and thinking about that stuff to do it. One big question I had was, when you guys had those teams, you guys obviously had your core players, but like, did you guys make a number of changes during those years, or not many at all?
The first year, our coach made an unbelievable trade. We got Cam Brody and Mike Lytle from I think it was Cornell's captain and Burnaby's captain. And like, it turned our decor into like, we had a bunch of old men. Like, watching them play was like watching the stars playing, like the 90s. Like, it was like just a bunch of warriors. Like, Lides barely wore shoulder pads. Like, and he blocked every shot. Like, so that was a big move for us. I think it really really kind of pushed us over the edge. And then we all, like, I mean, having like Hammy and that was, I mean, the Hamburglar, like, he just came into his, like, the first year we were with him, he really, I think, put it on himself that summer to be like, hey, I'm going to be an unbelievable goalie. Like, I'm putting in the work. And he came into camp, and it was just like as a 20-year-old, no scholarship, no nothing. And all of a sudden it's like we're winning 20 in a row. Like, and his GAA was like under 2 the whole playoffs. Like, I mean,
he might still have this record, I think, for shutouts.
Probably.
And it was something crazy, like
in the BC.
Yeah, in the playoffs, and there was like, I remember he had I think a scholarship at that time, or an offer from Bowling Green.
Yeah.
And I think that his offer like wasn't very good, and then all of a sudden like playoffs come along, and he was on another level. And I remember they bumped it up to, I think, like a full, because other schools were like, well, we're going to give this guy full, and then Bowling Green kind of.
Yeah, it's funny about that too. Is I went to the Senators camp, and he was there, and then that year was his big year of basicing what you guys just said. What he did in the BC, he did that NHL, and just earned himself a long-term contract, maybe even a couple years contract. But going from a bubble NHL, AHL guy to solidified contract is he did really well for himself during that time. And
totally.
Team. I mean, we had our core group of guys. Like, there was, I'd say, like 8 of us that were there those 2 years, maybe more. But Carnide, and then Braden Pym and Mike Collins, and we had a couple other brothers, the Ikolas, that were around, and Bryce Kokoski, and like Steve Gill.
Our captain Crowell. Like, I mean, you talk about a leader of a team. Like, he made it easy that it was like he was a leader, and one, he would kick the crap out of you if you, like, he was so tough. Like, so everyone, you scared him, but you respect him. And then it kind of just filtered down to our core guys, like those 10, 12 guys. Like, it was, if you're not going to, like I was saying, if you're not going to do what we're doing, then coach is going to get rid of you. And Ferns was very adamant. Like, he moved some guys, some really good players. And like, I'm sure it was surprising. And then, they didn't fit in or whatever, like any reason, so.
I think Carl was around when I was playing my last year.
For sure.
He was there, and he was tough. Did he come from the WHL? No, junior player.
Yeah, he's a William Blake guy. I think he played in Vernon when he was 17.
17, 18, 19, 20.
Yeah.
And he got a scholarship to Alaska Anchorage. And I mean, one of the toughest guys I know. I've never seen him lose a fight, but also the smartest guy I knew. Like, he'd be like, I remember we were in the same psychology class. He would skip class, go hunting in the morning before practice, and then be like, Jonesy, I need your psych book. And he's like, I'm going to study for the test the night before.
For high school.
Right. Yeah.
Oh,
No, and it was in we had like a university course, and he came in, got 100. He got 100 on every test, and he'd always go hunting and miss class. And like the teacher like knew this and couldn't say anything because he'd still get 100.
Naturally, yeah.
Like,
wow.
so not only could he throw, he could also. I think he had